Looking today at the battleground state of Uttar Pradesh, can the alliance between the Samajwadi Party and the Congress make any difference to the prospects of the India alliance? I'm Barkha Dutt here with the Mojo story. Looking ahead at elections 2024, a last-minute shot in the arm came, at least on paper, for the India alliance as Priyanka Gandhi joined the yatra of her brother as it made its way through Uttar Pradesh. Akhilesh Yadav also joined the yatra. Remember, the Samajwadi Party leader had been staying away, since till there is a seat sharing agreement in place, he would not join the yatra. But given the Modi-Yogi factor, given the failure of the alliance in 2017 in Uttar Pradesh, and given the exit of Jayant Chaudhary's RLD from the opposition camp, can this alliance make any difference at all to the prospects of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh? To talk about this, we are joined now on the program by our newsmaker today, Professor Sanjay Kumar of CSDS, one of India's leading political analysts and psephologist, is with us. Thank you, Sanjay. Always a pleasure. Let's start by getting some numbers in place for perspective. Although the Congress and the Samajwadi Party have started invoking the old slogan of "दो लड़के" and saying "दो लड़के ये इकट्ठे हैं अब यूपी में, दो लड़के हैं साथ यूपी में बनेगी बात," and so on. When we look at the numbers, and if we can switch actually to 2017, that was the last time that these two parties were together, as you know. And in 2017, you actually had a drastic come down for the Samajwadi Party. It fell to 47 seats from 224, and the Congress dropped from 28 to 7, right? There continued to be 22 seats where the two parties contested together. Given that 2017 is the only template we have for how this alliance has worked on the ground, and of course that was not a Lok Sabha election, what do you make of this alliance for the Lok Sabha elections?
Two things, Barkha. If anybody want to conclude that this alliance is going to defeat the BJP in UP, that's not going to certainly not happen. Second point, can this alliance pose a huge challenge to the BJP? No, it can't pose a huge challenge to the BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha election. But can it make any difference in the nature of electoral contest in UP? I think it will. It can make a difference to the nature of contest. Nature of When I say nature of contest, if there was no alliance, what would have been the kind of a election in UP? It could have been a washout for all the opposition parties. Now, since the two parties have come together, at least in constituencies with sizable number of Muslim votes, the Muslim vote will get consolidated, and some constituencies will at least witness a very, very, very interesting contest. So it makes difference to the nature of electoral contest in the sense, if there was no alliance, it was a complete washout. Now there is an alliance, there is some interest in elections now.
So in a sense, what you're saying is it's the difference between a walkover and some competition in the fight.
To a great extent, yes, it was a walkover. It would have been a walkover. But now there is a contest. As I said, there could be 10, 15, maybe 20 constituencies which can witness a very interesting contest. Not beyond that. UP has 80 constituencies, and last time we all know that BJP won 62 seats, and the BJP alliance got two more, so 64. I think BJP still is safe with winning a very large majority of seats, but still there will be some interesting contest uh, going to happen in 2024 Lok Sabha elections in UP.
You spoke about the consolidation of the Muslim vote. Had these two parties not come together, where did you see the Muslim vote going?
Oh, if the two parties have not come together, certainly there would have been a two-way split in the Muslim vote, but a huge majority of Muslim vote would have sided with Samajwadi Party, because in the state they should have been looked upon as a party which could pose challenge to the BJP in UP. But the split of the Muslim vote would have given BJP a better chance of winning or almost sweeping the state.
So, if you were to look at Uttar Pradesh today, we know that this election is unfolding in the backdrop of the Ayodhya Mandir movement. We also know that there is Gyanvapi that is now developing as a big political issue. And on the day that we are speaking, the Allahabad High Court has rejected the petitions by the Muslim groups and said that the puja will continue in upholding basically the district court's decision. Do you think Uttar Pradesh is basically a Hindutva election? How do you see UP? Because in a way, UP remains in Indian politics the gateway to Delhi.
Uh, since we are discussing UP, yes, I have to say that this is the first election in UP, the Lok Sabha election, which will be contested on the issue of Hindutva. But I see this election nationally also from BJP's point of view. This is the first election which BJP is going, full scale using Hindutva as their mobilization tool. If you look at the 2014 election, that was not the election where BJP invoked Hindutva in a big way. That was an election which BJP managed to win at the backdrop of charges of corruption and price rise against the ruling UPA government. When it comes to 2019 election, yes, BJP was still, in a comfortable position, but I think the BJP's big victory was because of the Pulwama bump, because the Pulwama happened and a huge sentiment, gathered in favor of BJP. This is the first election, in my opinion, when BJP is trying to use Hindutva not only in UP but in other states as well in a big way. So that's going to be the trump card for BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Now, in fact, you mentioned Pulwama, and we're talking on a day when it's 5 years of the Balakot strike, which you say was a game changer in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And if we can bring up that slide now, when we look at 2019, let's just hold it there. If you look at sorry, you need to play this for me to be able to actually see it. If you look at this breakup, you see 50% of the vote, Professor Kumar, going to the BJP. And all of these other parties, even if you add them all up, SP, RLD, BSP, INC, it's less than the BJP's vote share. And this was against, can we go back to Professor Kumar? This was against the backdrop of, as you said, Pulwama, Balakot. Now you have the Mandir movement, you have Gyanvapi, you have Mathura being raised also as an issue. You have Yogi Adityanath plus Modi, the one state where I think the double engine formula, there are two formidable brands, and you have the exit of Jayant Chaudhary. You have the exit of Jayant Chaudhary from the opposition camp. What impact will that exit have? Jayant Chaudhary and the RLD.
See, the exit of Jayant Chaudhary, I don't take it very seriously because the impact is very limited in few constituencies of the Western UP. But I think the biggest difficulty with the opposition parties is that in many states, we are now showing BJP, where BJP had 50% plus vote in UP in 2019 Lok Sabha election. But if we move state by state, there are a large number of states where BJP managed to get 50% plus vote. And that's the logic, that how do you defeat a party which has polled more than 50% vote? We talk about, say, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, a large number of states where BJP had more than 50% vote. So the success of the opposition depends only and only if they are able to create some positive narrative, and they have to pull votes from BJP towards their side. Because only, and what we call about the arithmetic and the chemistry, the arithmetic is not going to help the opposition, because precisely because of the slide which we are showing at the moment, BJP has 50% plus votes in.
Can we go back? Can we go back to the 2019 slide? I'm not sure why we're randomly changing these. Okay, let's take a look at these numbers. Professor Kumar, take us through these numbers.
So if you look at BJP, even though BJP managed to win only 62 seats, and why I'm using the word only, because if you compare it, the vote percentage, 50% plus vote, and you get 62 seats, it is important for, and the opposition is divided in a sense. Samajwadi Party and BSP had an alliance. Congress was contesting alone. So even if all the parties come together, which is not the case, only Samajwadi Party and INC has been able to form an alliance. If you add the votes of these two parties, it's a very small percentage, 24%. They need to generate a massive swing in favor. And how do they generate? They have to build some kind of a positive narrative. So only arithmetic is not going to work, not even on the paper. Leave aside what is going to happen on the ground. So that's the difficulty with the opposition in many states, including UP.
Let's talk about Mayawati for a moment, right? There is, when we take a look at these numbers, Mayawati is still getting 19% of the vote, right? In fact, she's got more percentage of votes than the Congress. But Mayawati seems to be in no mood to show any love to the opposition camp, at least. She's holding her cards as she's always classically done. There's talk about how fear of, corruption cases and so on has kept her very quiet. Some commentators have even begun to describe her politics as quote unquote dysfunctional, because she's neither choosing this side nor that side. She's almost remaining kind of static. How do you see the Mayawati factor?
You said static. I would say like a spectator. She's just watching how the elections are
Yeah.
unfolding. She doesn't want to
Yes.
take the side of the NDA, neither of the UPA. I also get a sense that because of the various charges of corruption, she want to play safe. And my own sense is that she has almost resigned from the active politics, and she would be contesting alone. That's going to damage the prospect of India alliance, because most of the vote which Mayawati is going to get, her party is going to get, would be the anti-BJP vote. And if the anti-BJP votes get divided, that by default helps the BJP. So, kind of a contesting election as a proxy to support the BJP. I think that's the politics of Mayawati in 2024.
So you think it's quite clear now that in a way she is de facto or consciously a proxy for the BJP. Can you explain this percentage of vote that typically went to Mayawati? Now, one of the interesting things we've seen is in other states and even in UP, a distinct increase in the number of Dalits and tribals who are ready to vote for Modi and the BJP. Right now, when you look at Mayawati's vote base, this 19% that the BSP took in 2019, where do you see that going in this election?
Uh, Very difficult to make a prediction, but also easy to make a prediction. When I say
Okay.
difficult, because I have not done any polls, so I can't say for sure that where does the Dalit vote goes. But when I say easy, you look at the election which has held after the Lok Sabha elections of 2019, and BSP's vote has gone down further to 13%. So we see the direction. And in an assembly election, I would have expected Mayawati to perform better, because the smaller parties perform much better in a state assembly election compared to the national election. And this is a phenomena across the state after Modi has become the prime minister. But in the assembly election also, BSP managed to get only 13% vote, almost a decline of 6% compared to 2019 election. So clear indication to my mind that BSP's vote share is going to further decline in 2024, and like few thousand votes in one constituency or the other. And this will, as I said earlier, by default helping BJP.
And just to put the numbers in perspective, the Dalits account for an estimated 21% of the state's population, and Jatavs, the community that Mayawati typically has drawn votes for, account for 54% of this Dalit population. So this is very, very important. This is a sizable chunk that we're talking about. And in some ways, the spectator role that Mayawati has kept for herself is bad news for the opposition alliance, which is why we hear that the Congress really wanted Mayawati to join the India alliance, but she did not, in fact, oblige them. There were also some reports that she said, "Pehle aap mujhe prime ministerial candidate declare kariye, then we'll think of it." Okay, now the other thing to talk about is the BJP's going and gunning for the couple of Gandhi bastions, perhaps actually even only one left now. Now, we have two things very interesting have happened. One, Smriti Irani's Greh Parvesh in Amethi, signaling that I'm here for the long run. And two, what will happen in Rae Bareli, because Sonia Gandhi has moved to Rajya Sabha politics. Now, what is interesting is the Prime Minister announcing, and I'll just play out that clip for you, and then I'll come back to you, Sanjay, on the Gandhi factor. What happens is this going to be the first time that we might not see a Gandhi family member representing Uttar Pradesh in the Lok Sabha? Just think about what that might mean given the historical trends on this. The Prime Minister here talking about an All India Medical Institute for Rae Bareli, Sonia Gandhi's seat up until now up for grabs, possibly for her daughter, but we don't know. Take a look.
मैंने यूपी के रायबरेली को एम्स की गारंटी दी थी। कांग्रेस के शाही परिवार ने रायबरेली में सिर्फ राजनीति की, काम मोदी ने किया।
Now, Professor Kumar, when you look at Rae Bareli, I'll come to Amethi in a moment after that. When you look at Rae Bareli, it's not clear or evident to me, despite the rumors that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will step in for her mother, because she knows she's stepping into an election that is leaning and loaded towards, in a way, Modi-Yogi combined. If she doesn't, either she runs and she wins, okay, but if she runs and she loses, or if she doesn't contest, and Rahul Gandhi does not come back to Amethi, despite Jairam Ramesh saying Mahol unki wapsi ka hai, we could be looking at a result where for the first time Uttar Pradesh has no popular Gandhi family representation. How do you look at the development if that's how it works out?
It's not about two seats, like Congress not being able to win two seats, not being able to win, add one more seat to its tally. I think it has a larger impact. It has an impact about symbolism. When Rahul Gandhi lost from Amethi, it's not about just winning and losing one seat. It's like losing the bastion, because Gandhi families have always been contesting from Rae Bareli and Amethi. So if Priyanka Gandhi, there could be two scenarios. She contests from Rae Bareli. If she wins, then it's a win-win situation for Congress. Congress should be in a position to say, people of Rae Bareli are with us, and this is a bastion. Despite Prime Minister Modi's all effort, we have been able to retain this seat. But if she contests, loses this election, I think it will be a big jolt for the Gandhi family. It will be a big jolt to the aura which has been created around the Gandhi family, having such a strong base in Rae Bareli. If she doesn't contest from the constituency, then what BJP wanted to do, in a sense, send out a strong message that Congress is not even in a position to contest the BJP's might. That will be conveyed, in a very clear manner. So I think very, very difficult decision for the Congress to take, what to do with these two constituencies.
There's also, this is all speculative, there's also some talk that Priyanka Gandhi could come into Amethi, where she has long campaigned actually as a proxy for her brother. And you could see Rahul Gandhi moving into Rae Bareli, into his mother's seat. But somehow I'm just not convinced, because it is better to not win these seats than to fight them and lose. Possibly.
I don't know what could be a better, what could be a better strategy. But my own sense would be that running away from contesting these seats is sending out a wrong message. They should try and contest. They should try and contest from these seats, because if you contest and if you lose, at least you send out a message that we are not running away. If you don't contest, the message is, it would be like conceding the defeat even before the results of 2024 Lok Sabha elections have been announced.
Let's come back in the end to the alliance. You said that it has actually brought some, Jan in the fight, some force in the fight. It's not
There
going
is
to
a
be a.
there is a
Go
difference in
ahead.
perception now. It has created a positive atmosphere and a perception, because look, Barkha, what was happening till 2 weeks ago or about a month ago, because none of the parties in opposition were able to form an alliance, but all of a sudden we had Samajwadi Party, Congress forming an alliance. Then Congress was able to form an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party. So a positive narrative has started building. But how far this will travel, we don't know. But at least there is a positive start. So there is a narrative that yes, these parties are serious. They have been able to come together. They have been able to sacrifice their egos. So everything is positive if you compare it today, compare it to what was the narrative 20 days ago.
But what does that narrative actually translate into? And while we've spoken a lot about the Gandhis, we haven't spoken so much about Akhilesh Yadav. Now, Akhilesh Yadav also badly needs an electoral break. He and Jayant Chaudhary, when they campaigned together in the last assembly elections, there was a widespread sort of expectation that this time they had worked hard. In fact, I remember going and reporting and meeting them on the campaign trail. But even that was not able to translate, into the winning side, as it were, for them. What do you see is at stake for Akhilesh Yadav, now running the party without the shadow of his father, without the shadow of the father's camp, but in a way out on his own, without another poor performance? What does that mean for the Samajwadi Party?
See, parties win and lose election. Yes, it would have a demoralizing effect. But honestly, Barkha, I don't think that these leaders don't, the leaders of the opposition parties don't know what they are heading for, what kind of an election they are heading for in 2024. They all know that, at least my own sense is that they all know that this is an election which they are going to lose badly. It's only about trying to win
Margins.
as many seats as possible, because they are not in a situation to contest the BJP at the national level. So yes, uh, and the reason why they have been able to come together is because they know that you have to just try and consolidate whatever base is left with the opposition parties.
Finally, the India alliance, which has really had one mishap after the other, lost Nitish Kumar, had Mamata Banerjee declare openly that she's going to go solo, that there's still attempts on to find some sort of arrangement in West Bengal, doesn't have a prime ministerial face, doesn't have a central message. But the Congress argues that they've been quicker at a pact in UP than the NDA, where the NDA smaller components, we don't really know what's going to happen with them. There is no great NDA pact in the other states as well. Does it matter? Because obviously the NDA was, in a sense, revived in response to the India alliance, and maybe the BJP now feels it doesn't need the NDA really.
Uh, no, I don't think this narrative goes well in the minds of the common voter. Uh, to give two examples, if there are two buses, one bus is empty, and if you want to take new passengers, the passengers can easily come in and take their own seat. But if the bus is already packed, like the NDA, so if you look at the Bihar, it's an oversized coalition. In a different terminology, we say it's an oversized coalition. It becomes very difficult to make adjustment or adjust all the people. So it is like an example of a crowded bus. The bus is already full, and if you want to take few more passengers, it becomes very the new passengers who come inside the bus finds it uneasy because they have to stand, they have to make adjustment. That is the scenario of NDA in many states, especially in Bihar, maybe in UP. At least I can see the two states where it is an oversized coalition, and that is why they are taking time making adjustment before they finally make an announcement which party is going to get how many seats. It's not an indication that they have been unable to figure out seat sharing arrangement because they are fighting among themselves. Yes, every single party in the alliance want to take their bigger share, and the negotiations are going on.
Do you believe that a seat sharing adjustment in Bengal, which is of course the epicenter of a virtual storm after what the BJP alleges has happened in Sandesh Khali, and the Prime Minister himself is going there, and clearly there are the BJP is snapping at the heels of the Trinamool Congress for the Lok Sabha elections at least. Do you believe a seat sharing pact there would make any difference at all to the India alliance? Does Mamata need the seat sharing pact in Bengal?
I think she needs a seat sharing arrangement, and that is why there is a initiative from Mamata Banerjee. If there is a seat sharing arrangement between Congress and Trinamool Congress, it will help in consolidating the Muslim vote. Mamata Banerjee still remains a very popular leader. It's not that her party is only dependent upon the Muslim vote. She gets vote from other sections of the society as well. If Mamata Banerjee is not able to form an alliance with the Congress, uh, I think she would be in a difficulty in some constituencies, and that is why the seat sharing arrangement, the initiative has been taken. It is a better situation compared to Mamata Banerjee and Congress contesting against each other in West Bengal. So I think it will go to the advantage of India alliance if Congress and Trinamool Congress are able to work out a seat sharing arrangement in West Bengal.
Finally, before we let you go, the South. We haven't spoken of the southern states at all. We've been North-centric, East-centric. There is, in fact, I met a politician from Tamil Nadu who argued that the BJP will actually try and stitch up a coalition in a state like Tamil Nadu with all of the smaller parties, not being able to get anything on its own, but say this is the NDA. And actually, if there is one region of the country where the BJP really needs partners, it is in the South.
There is a possibility. I'm sure that if you look at the pattern of BJP stitching alliances, they are trying to stitch alliance with even small parties which has no MLAs in the house, no MPs in the house. So I won't be surprised if BJP reach out to smaller parties in Tamil Nadu and work out an alliance with the smaller parties, despite knowing that they have 0.5% or 1% vote share. At least BJP will be able to send out a message that, look, it's not that BJP does not have alliances in the south, BJP does not have footprint in the south. They will be able to demonstrate that BJP has 2 or 3 or 4 partners even in a southern state like Tamil Nadu.
Which, finally, Professor Sanjay Kumar, is the X factor that you would be looking at? We are expecting election dates on the 13th of March. That leaves literally not even 6 weeks, or roughly there, for this election to be decided. Is there any X factor that you'd be looking out for?
I think if opposition parties are able to communicate to the people about the two burning issues on the ground, which is unemployment and price rise. If
Yeah.
these two issues are, if they are able to communicate this to the people in the way it should be, I think election will become more interesting day by day. If they are not able to convince the people that price rise is important, it is an important issue, and this is because of the different failures of the government. Unemployment in the country is because government has not been able to pay attention, or some failures of the government. They have to connect some disconnected elements, and they have to try and convince the people, at least send out the message loud and clear, that growing unemployment, rising prices is a issue of failure of the government, and it's not that it has been there all the time. If that happens, then election becomes interesting. If they are not able to convince people on these two issues, because these are the burning issues which could be handy at the hands of the India alliance. So I think I will be looking at carefully how opposition party or India alliance are able to communicate this to the people of this country.
Well, I think whether it's in cricket or politics, even those who vote BJP will want at least an interesting competitive election and a healthy opposition. And the India Alliance, more than numbers and arithmetic, also needs to convey some chemistry, some central messaging. And that is where it has so far lacked. Always a pleasure, Professor Kumar. We'll have you back as this story develops every day. I'm sure there'll be a new development now. Thank you so much, sir, and take care.
Thank you, Barkha.
Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of a story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.